It's another InCoWriMo session. And look, something new at the Inkwork studio. It's a fold-down secretary desk. Producer Mike found it on a visit to the antique mall early this year. It's compact and fits snugly in a corner of the room. The writing surface is 26 inches wide, and there are built-in cubbies at the back. On the tag, the finish was described as faux tiger wood. The main thing is that it's a solid, sturdy piece for me to do some projects, whether it's writing or collaging or small paintings. My studio is a room that's approximately 10 feet by 10 feet. Since it was a spare bedroom, I managed to gain extra workspace by putting my computer station inside the closet. That's where post-production takes place. Things like video editing, voiceover writing and recording, uploading, etc. In the main part of the room, there's a small drafting table about 30 inches wide. That's where nearly all of my recent videos have been shot. Before that, I used an outdoor folding banquet table. Now, with the addition of this secretary desk, also known as an escritoire or equitoire, I have another option for shooting. Of course, I had to laugh when producer Mike pointed out that I'd managed to squeeze 3 desks into this small space. For this letter, I used the TWSBI VAC 700R with Airband's Poussière de Lune ink. In the previous letter session, I'd used the Schaefer Festive, which I also got from the antique mall. I think I've already mentioned the creepy vibes I get from those places, mostly because I watched Friday the 13th, the series, back in the late 1980s. In fact, I have a vivid memory of switching back and forth between TV channels to catch both the latest episode and news coverage of the Berlin Wall coming down. The show had nothing to do with Jason the Masked Murderer, but rather an antique shop called Curious Goods that sold cursed objects. So, as much as I enjoy using the Schaefer Festive, I'm trying to figure out a way to give it to my brother, who has a small collection of vintage Schaefers. But being a good older brother, he's turned it down so as not to deprive me. But I may have to wrap it up and sneak it through that way, because we all know how these things work. Once he accepts it, the curse gets transferred. Sure, technically that would make me a bad sister, but at least I'll be safe. Plus, it would be one of those fun family anecdotes. Remember way back when I gave you that evil fountain pen? Good times. Since my previous ink sketch of a croissant turned out so well, I wanted to try it with a line and wash technique. So I cut a piece of Fabriano Artistico cold press watercolor paper to fit inside the envelope. I'd already lightly sketched a design with a colored pencil. The next step was applying the line work. This bottle is from Rohrer and Klingner's Sketch Ink series. The color is called Lily. It isn't noticeable here, but later on when I use this ink to paint in some shadows, you'll see that it's a lovely olivey brown shade that brings to mind, oh, swamp water? But since everything sounds better in French, let's call it eau de marée. As for brushes, with the ink, it was a number 2 round Neptune from Princeton, and with the watercolors, it was a number 8 round Versatile from Escoda. I used only 2 paint colors, both from M. Graham, nickel quinacridone gold and quinacridone rust. Fabriano Artistico is 100% cotton, and I've been using it for a couple of years now, along with other cotton paper such as Arch's Fluid 100 and Hanamulla collection. I've enjoyed using all of them, and my purchases are greatly influenced by what's on sale at the time. I would drop Fluid 100 because it's kind of finicky about tape. If I mostly painted on the block, that would be fine, but I often like to tape my paper onto other surfaces. I say I would drop Fluid 100, except that I prefer their hot-pressed finish over Arches. I should broaden my scope with hot press, as I've been using it more lately with the line and wash pieces. I like the Hanamulla collection, so I should try their hot press. Then again, a while back, someone had recommended Fabriano's hot press, so watercolor world problems. I'm happy to share this writing and arting session with you. After how well this painting turned out, I now want to paint croissants all the time because I'm always down for a good flaky pastry, whether plain, dressed with jam, or stuffed with ham and cheese. Or as the French say, jambon et fromage. Yes, I'm still watching the Les Frenchies channel. I can't help myself. Until next time, stay artsy, my friends. Good old Fabriano Artistico. No tearing whatsoever.